But today we're going to have an interview. So I am going to be interviewing, I've got the privilege of interviewing 3 very lovely people. So as they come up to the stage, could you please give them a rapturous applause, please? So Kat, Justin, Kate. Come and join me. Come and join me, guys. Yeah, grab a seat. Fantastic. So, sorry, Becca, we'll probably just leave them on all the time. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah. So today is slightly different. We are going to have an interview, and I am going to be interviewing the lovely Kate, the lovely Justin, and the lovely Kat. They've all got things that they're going to share with us this morning, and this morning's going to be a little bit more different, okay? A little bit different, but I believe God is still going to be speaking to us, and it's really important to just be open to the Holy Spirit challenging you, encouraging you, pointing you in a direction, and be open to hearing something you might not have heard before. Okay, so this is exciting. So first of all, guys, I'd love for you to introduce yourselves to us. So many of us would know you guys very well, but also many of us would not know you sort of intimately, really, really well. So, Kate, could I start with you? Is that all right? Could you just give us an introduction to Kate?
So I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt and a great aunt. And also a friend, for all my friends that are here today, supporting me, thank you. And family and friends mean a lot to me. I feel very blessed to have sort of them in my lives. I'm a physio working with children. I love to travel, that's just one of my hobbies, but I certainly love to travel, whether it's Britain or in abroad. And I'm part of a fabulous running club called Life Point Ladies.
Go for it, Just.
I'm Justin. I'm a lead developer at Swansea University, so computer programming for digital health data. I've been in Swansea most of my adult life. I did my undergrad and my PhD in Swansea. I enjoy things like computer gaming, watching movies with friends, and just things that are quite lazy, really.
Justin is quite chilled out. You'll get that today. He's awesome. Go on, Kat.
I'm Kat. I am a failed member of Life Point Running Club. Sorry, Kate did her best. She really did, and she was very encouraging. But I am terrible at running, and it's not for me. I spend the majority of my time with people 2 decades younger than me. It's not because I'm creepy. It's because I work with teenagers. So by day, I work in a secondary school as the well-being and pastoral team leader. So I'm responsible for the emotional and physical and mental well-being of 1,150 teenagers. And when I'm not doing that, I run Life Point Youth, which is a different game altogether, but they are marvelous and I love them. And for as much as I see a lot of bad stuff in safeguarding, the Life Point Youth give me so much hope for the world, because the world's a bit of a mess, I don't know if you've noticed, and we've got a generation of young people who love God and who are passionate and diligent and just embody the verse of shining like stars. So I love them to bits, and they're the best people on the planet.
Awesome. So there's quite a lot going on there, isn't there? We got physio. We got a doctor of something very academic that kind of went a little bit over my head just then. We got youth. You're involved with youth, care of people. We got an athlete here with us, Kate. Fantastic. Kate, you recently did the 10K, didn't you, with loads of people from the church? And it was a good turnout, wasn't it? It was
it's nice. It's nice. See phrases, yeah.
So they do a lot of things. They got a lot of hobbies. They got so many different things going on in their life. And something which brings them all together, and that's something that we're focusing on today, is that they are all single, okay? And today is a bit different, isn't it? Because we're just pausing, and we're going to celebrate singleness. And we're going to get an insight into their lives as single people. And learn loads. Learn loads about what it's like to be in each of these individual lives, but also learn what it's like for us to be around people who are single in general. And obviously, these are 3 people. It's not every single person is covered here, right? In the same way that if myself and Amy were up here talking about marriage, we wouldn't be covering the whole of marriage. This is their life that they're sharing with us. And so our hearts, our heart for this year, or what God's been challenging us about, is to see the Father and then be his family. And this is where we're really focusing in on the nitty-gritty of what it is to be his family. And one part of that is getting to know people around us. We are all very different. If we interviewed each of you here, you'd all be sharing loads of different things about yourselves. But two specific differences that we're going to focus on this week and next week is that some people are single and some people are married. So this week, we're going to focus on singleness. And next week, we're going to be interviewing a couple who are going to be sharing something about what it is to be married. And the big aim, I suppose, is that we get to know more about other people in our church family. And because of that, we can then become more and more like Christ. Understand more from their perspective, learn more, etc., etc. Okay? So it's quite exciting. So listen up. Let's have a great time. We have prepared some questions. So we thought we'd start with a bit of a bang, okay, guys? So hold on to your seats here a little bit. We're going to start with assumptions, okay? So assumptions. So, guys, and Kat, I'm going to come to you first, if that's all right. I'll just give you a heads up. What are some assumptions that have been made about you and actually said to you at different times? Go for it.
There have been a lot of comments, and people who know me know how hard it is for me to not be sassy. And I've had to really be gracious and rein it in and not explain why they're wrong. But one of the comments I get a lot is that, oh, you need a man to complete your life. That you need to find your other half. I am a whole person all by myself. I am complete. Amen. Thank you very much.
Amen. If there's nothing else we take from today, I think every single one of us can take hold of that, can't we? You know, we are a whole person in and of ourselves. In a marriage, in whatever stage of life, we are a whole person. I think that's fun. Thank you, Kat. Right, Justin, go for it.
That I'm always free. I'm never busy because I've got nobody else in my life, so I've got nothing better to do in my times. Sure. And they're right.
Thank you, Just. Kate, any assumptions?
That to be married and like what Kat said, that I think everybody wants to move you on to the next season in sort of marriage, and it may not be the right time or the right sort of circumstance, but that you maybe need to change your image, change your hobbies that you do, change church. I've had people saying, well, go to another church. And I go, I'm quite happy here, actually. So, yeah, that it's kind of like you've got to sort of change yourself in order to sort of be married. But I kind of think me is me. And, so.
Right, thank you. Kat, any others?
There's the general assumption that marriage automatically equals happiness and singleness automatically equals loneliness. I am not lonely. If anything, there's too many people in my world. Like, there's 1,500 people in my building at work. Like, I get peopled out. That's not loneliness.
Thanks, Kat. Yeah. Justin, anything else to add? That's all good?
I suppose that I don't have responsibilities, so like without a family and stuff. I don't have things that I have to sort of deal with and stuff, but I do actually. Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah. It's really interesting. I don't know about you guys, but when I heard some of these last week, I was like, whoa, yeah, that must have actually really hurt when somebody has potentially shared that with you or done something that has given that sort of idea across to you. And I know at times you've probably laughed some of those assumptions off, but other times it really has hit home, hasn't it? So it's something that I was quite challenged about, and this is just super simple, isn't it? But let's not make assumptions about people. Let's get to know people, right? So not assuming different things, but get to know them and ask some questions, right? Because as soon as you ask questions, you're like, whoa, okay, this opens up a whole different load of things, which is very exciting. Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, guys. So we wanted to look at some highs and some lows in your life. Give us a picture, give us an idea of what your life looks like, guys. What are some highs and lows? Kate, do you want to kick us off with that?
Yeah, sure. So I've said that I like to sort of travel, so certainly I enjoy the time and the freedom that I have to sort of in order to go off and do travelling. I enjoy spending time with my family. My niece, Lisi, lives near Carmarthen, and I've got a nephew that lives near Liverpool. So to be able to sort of pop and see her for an evening or pop up to my nephew Joseph with his family up in near Liverpool is great, because I can just sort of not ask anybody and just go. And I just love those times. So that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Kat, you got any highs, any lows to share?
I love the freedom of it. Like, if I wake up and decide I want to go and hike the Gower, I just do it. Like, I know from watching Ollie and Amy and other friends with kids, getting out the front door is like a whole rigmarole. I just go out the front door. It's great.
Justin, go for it.
Similar, if I wake up and think I can go hike the Gower, I can feel perfectly... I can feel that it's my choice not to do it rather than I have to. But like Kate, I like to travel and stuff. I like to go visit friends and family. I've got more freedom perhaps to spend things on frivolous stuff that's like a giant Lego castle that I wouldn't do perhaps if I had to sort of had more responsibilities and sort of other financial responsibilities in my life.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Jump in, guys. You got any lows, any other highs?
I know I've already mentioned work, and I'm not a one-trick pony, but I love my job. I love it. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. And I come home and I can't spell my name. And my name's Kat. It's the first word you learn. But the fact that I feel like I am where I'm meant to be, not just as a job, but I think it's more than a job. I think God has put me in there, and there's a whole testimony, which I won't go into now, about how God got me the job, because I didn't apply for it, but it was literally my dream job mapped out. And just it sounds really silly, but every time I walk through the school gates onto site, my spirit jumps, and it's like I am where I'm meant to be. And you can't replicate that artificially. That's a knowing that I am in the purpose that God's got for me. And that brings me so much joy. And I think the idea that people look at me and go, oh, poor Kat, isn't she sad because she's not got a man? I'm like, forget that. I'm living my best life, you know. And I've been reading Ecclesiastes recently, and there's a verse, if I can read it, if that's okay, that really kind of sums it up. So it's Ecclesiastes is a bit of a downer, let's be honest. But there are some like nuggets of joy in there. And there's a bit that talks about finding satisfaction in your work and being grateful for the gifts that God gives you. And it says, it's in the end of chapter 5, it says, God gives someone satisfaction in their work and wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy in their toil. This is a gift of God. Those people seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of heart. And that feels like me, like my life is so rich and so enjoyable and so satisfying. I haven't got time to sit around and mope about not having a man because I've got stuff to do, you know? It's brilliant.
Yeah. This sounds like there's so much purpose in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love that, Kat. And God's called you into that.
Yeah.
That's a real challenge to, I think, everybody. If you are working, God has purpose for you. If you're in a job, he has purpose for you in that job. Whatever it might be. You might be dreaming of something else. Like, I know Kat's got her dream job, and not all of us can say that. But where you are working, God has purpose for you there. That's so important. Yeah.
Can I add another Ecclesiastes that I like and that has been really sort of, has an impact on my life, and that's the time for everything. And I love it because there's the both sides with a time for everything. But it's also, it shows the different seasons in people's lives, and sometimes you stay in a season to sort of grow and to develop. And I think that's where I am at the moment, but there'll be another season, which is sort of not necessarily marriage, but another season for doing other things. So I've really liked Ecclesiastes, sort of the time for everything, for the different seasons.
Any lows, guys? Any challenges within life that you want to share with us? We're trying to paint a real accurate depiction, and highs don't just mean it's beautiful, And lows don't just mean it's awful, but together the two bring a beautiful life, don't they? Because that's who we are. We are emotional beings, and we experience lots of different things. So God's plan for us is not just highs, is it? And it's not just lows, it's a whole variety. So guys, give us some lows. Go on.
I think it comes back to sort of the travel and to do activities that it's really hard when you don't share it with someone, when you sort of the experiences and sort of there's things that I want to do, but if there isn't anyone there with you to share it, it could be quite hard and lonely, like you were sort of saying, Kat. I mean, things like sort of family events, either sort of celebrations like marriages or things that sort of do the health to do with family. When you're on your own, it's quite hard to sort of, do it on your own.
I would agree with that. I think one of the things we've been discussing of this as a group for a few weeks, haven't we? And one of the things that I've been reflecting on recently is how hard it is as a single person to live in a society built for couples and families. You always feel a little bit on the edge or a little bit awkward or like you don't quite fit. And there's no one reason for that. I think it's a cultural kind of attitude. But when you're the minority, you're super aware of it all of the time.
Justin, any thoughts?
So quite a few people know I have OCD and anxiety issues, and I have great friends and family around that I can turn to, but they can't be there all the time. That's not fair on them. So sometimes, I'm on my own having to deal with that, and that is, really quite difficult and stuff when things are sort of piling up.
Yeah, I imagine it would be, Justin, yeah. You mentioned you've got some friends and family who are sort of around who potentially help you in those sort of times.
Yeah.
Could you give us a bit of an example of
sure.
something?
So the last year there were issues with my house, and to anyone else they were small, tiny issues. But sometimes things like that I'll just breeze on over them. They won't have an effect, but just it's like something snaps, and I was sort of quite on edge for a whole year, and. Particularly Will and Nicole Daniels and Ralph and Sean Bettany sort of let me stay with them for on and off for almost a year while I was trying, even once the house was fixed, while I tried to sort of just get back to a normal sort of level way of thinking, and that would have been almost impossible to cope without friends like that around.
Yeah, I love that. Will and Nicole, Ralph and Sean, well done, great job, guys. It's such a beautiful, simple thing, but really, really amazing. So thank you for that. Sorry, Kat, you go for it.
I was just going to say, I completely agree with Justin. That thing that sometimes you feel like you're in things on your own, and that idea that, and it's true that we have 100% of the mental load of our lives because we don't have a partner doing life with us. We have 100% of the responsibility. If my roof leaks, that is my problem and my problem alone, and I do not know how to fix a roof. And I promise we're not sponsored by the book of Ecclesiastes. I just happened to be reading it. But you know that passage that has been hijacked by married people to read at their weddings? It's not about marriage, it's about friendship. Yeah. And it says, hang on, I'll read it to you now. Yeah, go for it. It says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either one of them falls down, one can help the other up. Yeah. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. If 2 lie down together, they'll keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves, and a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And I get why they use it for weddings. It's lovely. But it's about friendship. And the bit that says, pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up, sometimes that feels like me. That feels like our life, because I do not have a designated other to do that for me. And what part of the downside of being single, and I think particularly for my job, working in safeguarding, sometimes I see some really horrific stuff. And as much as the joy follows me home from work and I've had a great day, the horror also follows me home from work, and there is no one in my house to help me shake it off. Yeah. And then it sits, and it's heavy, and it's hard. Yeah. And I think, like Justin was saying, that's when you need the family, that's when you need your network of people, whoever that is, friends, family, whoever that is, to go and say, can I eat your ice cream and have a cry because today has been pants? Yeah. And have the people to do that with. Have your Wills and Nicoles and Ralph and Sean's and whoever it is.
Yeah. I'm going slightly off script now, but can we pause on there for a moment? Are there things that, or are there ways that you have developed friendships over the years, or ways that you would like to develop friendships that sort of, when you're in that sort of position, that you then have somebody to go to? Because there's something that we can do as a church family, which is invite, right? Nice and simple, just say invite, get alongside people, get to know people, etc., etc. Are there any things that you have done as single people, not necessarily, I'm single, so I'm going to do this, but you've done so that you develop those sort of close, intimate friendships?
I think for me, it's something that I've had to learn. And when you come home and you need to offload or something's on your mind, I would just stay on my own in the house and sort of let it sort of chug around in my mind. But I've had to learn that I must send a message or reach out to the family, church family or family, and just go, okay, can I talk about this? Are you free? I think my normal thing is, are you free? And that's kind of like a little bit of, me doing my bit, because they don't know. They don't know what type of day I've had. I'll come home and I'll be on my own. So it's probably just that little bit of learning of either, I've got to sort of reach out and be clearer, but it's that sort of SOS.
I think the most important thing is, and doesn't just apply to single people really, is to have friends that you can go to when you're struggling and stuff. Because by the time you're struggling, if you haven't really developed people that you're happy to turn to, then it's going to be much harder than if you've already got those friendships in place.
Yeah, that's really wise. This is not just about singleness, is it? This is about life in general, community together. We need friendships. We need people around us, and so to actively put time and effort into caring for somebody else, and then they respond. And likewise when we need that, Anything else to share, Kat?
Ollie's going to laugh at me now because I am rubbish at this. So do as I say, not as I do. But if you're the single one, or even if you're not, but you need that person, take your friends up on the offer. Ollie knows because he's offered and Amy's offered, and I am terrible at it. But I think years of being single in a marriage-focused culture has made me believe that I am an inconvenience to my friends because they are too busy for me, and they did not sign up for my mess because they signed up for each other's messes. And my rule of thumb about family is if you're going around someone's house and they hoover before you come, then you're a guest. But if you go around their house and you end up doing the washing up, then you are family. And I have done washing up at a lot of you guys' houses because you're my family. Right. And I'm working on this, but my encouragement for everyone, but particularly for single people, would be don't exclude yourself from stuff. If I am welcome in their mess, then they are welcome in my mess, and we do our mess together. And we shouldn't be on the edge because we are vital for this community. And we are vital to our friends and family, and I need to work on this, and I promise I'm working on it. But that thing, like you said, tell people when you need them because they can't read your minds.
Amazing. It's good. Right, so we've kind of dabbled into this a little bit, but let's focus on it a bit more. So, as I said before, our sort of what God is calling us to for this year is to be His family. We want to be taking steps forward to actively become more and more like Jesus, really. But ultimately, Jesus' bride, we are to look like the Father's family, and it's a beautiful journey that we are on. I got to say, I think we look fantastic right now. I'll be honest. I think as a church, I think we're doing really, really well. I love our community. I love our life groups. I love the way we serve, etc., etc. But there is always more for the Holy Spirit to lead us into, to step us into. So, in families, we often get things right, but we also do get some things wrong, don't we? So, as a single person in God's family, how have things not quite gone right? And potentially what could have helped in that situation? Kate, do you want to start? Is that all right? Go for it.
So it probably sort of reiterates a bit of what has already been said, but it's just the communication and just you have that relationship with church family, but if you don't have that church relationship, if somebody comes up and starts to sort of move you on to the next season or says something that maybe is just a little bit sensitive, then that can be quite hard. So I know it's all for concern, but maybe it's just knowing a good relationship is good. Can I say one other thing? And then we'll pass. Sorry to say this, but sometimes sermons are not always the best. And I sort of look through my notes, and sometimes it's that marriage is the best, and you are able to do your role within the church better by being married or in a couple. And that can be hard because, similar to what you said, Kat, you can feel a bit inadequate or a bit of a misfit. And where do I fit in if I've got my enthusiasm and want to serve or want to do things, but I'm on my own. So it doesn't always help, and maybe the culture.
I very much agree with Kate. I think how people talk to us or about us can be really difficult. I have had many an awkward conversation in this very room where someone said, you're too independent, it puts men off. I'm like, great, I'll do it even more then. Or, there must be something wrong with you to still be single in your 30s. And I'm like, oh, mate, the list is very long. But it's this assumption, isn't it, that marriage is a better option than singleness, when actually they're two equal options, and there's good bits and bad bits about both. And you've got to do what is the right thing for your life in any given moment, because we are not all clones and we all have our own plans and purposes, isn't it? And my approach, and again, I know I'm really sassy, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. My approach is, if you can't say it to a married person, then don't say it to a single person. So I've been told, oh, still single then. Can you imagine if I went, oh, still married then? Like, I had someone say to me once, and thank goodness they told me so I could put a stop to it. Oh, I was going to go on a dating app and sign you up for you and find some men so you can have a conversation with them. So once I explained that was catfishing, because they are not me and that's definitely not okay, and I explained that I didn't want them to do that, I was thinking, imagine if I said to my married friend, well, I've made an appointment with a divorce lawyer for Tuesday. You're going to go to, you wouldn't do it. So why on earth do you think it's okay to meddle? If I've given you permission to go and introduce me to a bloke, crack on. But if I've not, my life is not your Sims character, you know?
That's good. Go on, Justin.
I mean, most of it is very similar to what's already been said. The idea that, I'm not complete without a wife or a partner and a girlfriend, or that, to change in some way. I say this more in jest, but those who know me know that they've actually been moved since the house was decorated, but in my front window there's a collection of potato heads, or was. It's just a weird thing that I find amusing. And it was often suggested I should remove them because women might be put off. And my thought was, well, there's a couple of things going, it wouldn't be a first date for a woman, I think, to be coming to my house and see the potato heads in the window. I'd assume we'd develop some sort of bond before that point. And then, the idea that they would come along and sort of be so horrified after they've got to know me. It's not like there's a dead cat in the window swinging back and forth. That I need to remove my potato heads. And in my view, if that was how they felt upon seeing them, get lost. I would remove them if if we were in a proper relationship and sort of moved along and, in the give and take of things, could you please remove the potato heads from the window? We're sharing a house, then of course I would honour that and respect it very, very begrudgingly. One other aside to this is, not quite related to this, people would always ask why I didn't have a Mrs. Potato Head. And I said, well, that's for when I do find my future wife. Before the wedding, I would like her to buy me a Mrs. Potato Head. And then they would both go on the wedding cake, which would have to be huge. And I said, that would be the sign that I found the person I love. This has all gone a bit wrong because Will Daniels, about 2 Christmases ago, bought me a Mrs. Potato Head. So, very, very confused now.
Thank you, guys. Brilliant. So, in the same way that some things have not gone right, lots of things have gone really well, and you've shared some beautiful stories already. Justin, you shared some lovely one earlier. But how have things gone well for you within the church as a part of the Father's family, as a single person? What has been awesome? Justin, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. It is just going back to all the support I've had from people there, from all over the church. I've had support from Will and Nicole, Ralph and Sean, Ben and Kate, and so Christians from outside the church, Caleb and Emma, and apologies if I've forgotten anyone, but they are really important to me because they are the support I need, plus my actual family as well. So yeah, they are. But
Can I say something? Because Justin has said that he stayed in other people's houses, but a lot of people have lived in Justin's house over the years. He has opened his home up to so many people, and it's amazing, you know. So it's not just that he's experiencing that from other people. He is also opening his doors to so many people in the church, which has just been a blessing to so many here who
more than half of them left on their wedding day, though.
Well, that's a blessing for them. All good.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else, guys, to add to that? What's gone really well in being part of the church family?
I think for me, there's two particular things. I think that for me as a single woman, particularly, that I've been given opportunities that traditionally, historically, I've only ever given to couples. So, like me running a ministry, and I think the same with you, Kate. If you look back 10 years, you would not have got a single woman, particularly, but a single person running a ministry, because that's a job for a couple, because it's so big and you can't do it without support from a man. Funnily enough, you can. And just to know I'm in a church where I am not overlooked because of my singleness, but I'm looked at and said, right, what giftings does she have? What heart does she have? What can she bring? How can she serve? How does she listen to the Holy Spirit? If that's the kind of leader we want, then she's got the job, and if it's not, then she doesn't. That's what we want, not based on relationship status or age or gender or any other demographic. But if you are the right person to serve in that ministry, that you get to serve in that ministry. It should be quite simple, shouldn't it, really? And like we've already covered, but it bears repeating because it's so important, is that we treat each other like family. Like, I've had people take me on their family holidays with them and their kids, and I've been Christmases at people's homes because I got nowhere to go for Christmas. And some people have brought me medicine and cleaned my house when I had flu, and someone stayed up until 4 a.m. with me when my car broke down. We watched Die Hard. It was great. But it's that thing of, you know, like in the Bible, it talks about the one another's, like pray for one another, love one another, be hospitable to one another, serve one another. As single people, we don't have a designated one another person. We don't have a partner who's promised to be there, my one another forever and ever, amen. So it's very easy to presume that someone else is doing that for me. And the risk is that if we presume that someone else is being that one another, that the odds are that no one is. And I'm so grateful to be in a church where, if anything, I've got too many one another's. Not the too many, because you can't have too many, but there's so many people that are proactively looking after me and supporting me, and I look after and support them, because that is what we're called to do. And I know I've never got up in a fancy dress and sworn to love someone until death do us part, but I fully plan on doing that for my friends, even though we haven't had a ceremony. Like, I'm in it for richer or poorer. You're stuck with me, because that's what people who love each other do, right?
Yeah, that's really good, Kat. Thank you. Brilliant, guys. Anything else to add to that?
For me, it's more sort of, I suppose, to do with being part of the church, in that some of the sermons have been really thoughtful or really sort of poignant for me. And the recent one to do with the names of God, where it's gone through counsellor and comforter, really being key to sort of, when you're on your own, to sort of know you're not on your own. That it's almost single, but not on your own, because you've got God there. And just going through those recent series has been really good. And ditto what sort of you said about friends, within the church. That's very positive.
Amazing. So there's lots of things that we've done well as a church, guys, and there's some things that we can do even better, which is exciting. We're gonna draw it to a close, guys. We're gonna finish with, if there is one thing that you would like to take that you would like us to take away with us, what would it be? So just one each, if that's all right, guys. One thing that you would like us to take away from today. Who wants to go first? Go for it, Kate.
Okay. So it's the fact that as a single person, we have our own identity and our own roles. And I put it down as don't pity, but see the potential, just because don't pity, but see the potential, because we have many skills and we can do many things, and we could be great friends and family members. So, yeah, that's probably what I was sort of saying.
Love that. That's great. Go on, Jess.
For me, it's I suppose being single. I think is the least interesting thing about me. That's my personal thought, anyway.
Yeah.
And so, kind of what is the drive of my life? It's one of my favourite verses from the Bible. Is 2 Timothy 4. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. And that's ultimately when I reach single or married by the end of my life. That's my aim in life.
Come on.
It's not what's finding someone is not what's driving me.
Really good. Yeah, great.
I would say for me, and I absolutely 100% agree with you guys as well, because choosing one thing's really hard. So you've already said some of my stuff, which is great. I would think it's important to commit to our friendships and to one another with the same intention that people commit to marriage. And it's not because I need to have a contract that you're going to be my friend forever, but if we are loving one another, then that shouldn't stop at the person who shares the same address as you. And so let's be as intentional and proactive in our platonic friendships as we are in our romantic ones.
Fantastic. Give them a round of applause, guys.